Hi, I'm Dr. B, Psychiatric Nurse Practitioner, and today I'm going to be talking about kids and healthy relationships. This channel is about how to be mentally strong, and here at Mentally Strong, we believe in raising mentally strong kids, right? So we have the growth wheel. This is kind of the development of emotionally and mentally healthy people, right? If you look at the growth wheel, we all start out with our genetics, right? But then everything else is this learned environmental behaviors or influencing things, right? And so how do we raise mentally strong children? So today we're going to focus on one pie of the wheel, and that's relationships. How do we raise kids that have healthy relationships? Okay, so the core, if you look at the genetics and then the next level, is always about either safety or trust or love. A child cannot grow up and have healthy relationships if their first relationships are not healthy, or it's much more difficult. They can. Nothing's impossible. But it is very difficult to have healthy relationships in adulthood if your relationships in your early childhood were not healthy. And so the number one thing in raising mentally strong children who have healthy relationships is that they trust their relationship with you, with their parents, or the adults acting as their caregiver, right? It doesn't, we have, adoption works, right? It is important, the earlier that they develop that trust, Erickson talks about trust versus mistrust, the stronger they will be in their ability to have healthy relationships. The next phase is kind of that natural egocentric phase where young children, it's all about themselves, self. And we want our children to be confident and strong. And I was actually talking to my sister yesterday, and she's like, I want my daughter to know she's all that, but not act like she's all that. And there is a transition in that phase, right? So they're naturally egocentric, and we want to feed into that. We want to tell them how good they are and how confident they are. But we want to begin to show them how to care for others. And so maybe having activities or tasks where they do something for someone else. You could even start with pets. How can I care for my pet? How do I make sure that I, am caring for someone else? What can I do for mommy or daddy or my brother or my sister? Starting within the family, and then, moving out to, what do we do for others? How do we look at other people and be empathetic to other people and still be confident in ourselves, right? And then the last level of that relationship is lifelong, right? We have, there's a whole another video on relationships are a priority, right? And there's different levels of relationships. And so we have to also teach our children that not everybody is, mommy and daddy or our trusted caregiver, right? That we have different levels of friendship. And so in our children's program, we actually, instead of going over the 5 levels of relationships, which is a little difficult for children, we have like a, who are strangers, this, stranger danger, who can we trust a little bit, who do we trust a lot, and who do we trust the most, that we can tell if we don't trust that person, if we're having difficulty trusting someone. So it's about first that trust and love and safety in the family, and then it goes into trust and love of themselves, and then of others, and then the higher level is probably preteen, teenage. What are these levels of relationships, and who can we trust? And I think it's important to start those 5 levels of relationships in that preteen time, because this is when they start, making their own close friends, and they are finding, maybe romantic interests, or they are exploring themselves in that direction. And we don't want them to throw themselves into an intimate relationship with someone that is not trustworthy, right? So again, this relationships has all of these steps, and then starting with trust. So Again, we believe in mentally strong children, and share. There will be a choice opportunity about having a mentally strong child, and the stranger danger, and putting those boundaries and teaching those levels of relationships to early childhood. And remember that you are mentally strong and you can raise mentally strong children.